Topic 4, inflation and the cost of trading. When investing in shares or building a portfolio, you need to be aware of 3 evils, so to say, that are going to look to wear away at your returns. These really are inflation, taxes, and costs associated to trading. So let's start with inflation. And most of us at some level understand this concept. What is inflation? The fact that prices tend to rise over time. Why is this a downside to an investor? Well, take an investor who has managed a portfolio and over the year realized a 12% investment return. Very pleased with his outcome. Now, say at the same time that unfortunately inflation or prices have risen on average 8% for the same period. Can this investor actually say he's made 12% in return? Well, no. Unfortunately, his purchasing power of that return has been reduced, eaten away, eroded by this inflationary evil. And in fact, only 4% real return has been realized. Inflationary hedges are something very interesting to understand. What are they? Really investments into certain asset classes that protect the portfolio when times of inflation are rife. For example, gold has been well documented as keeping up with inflationary prices, so it rises even more so perhaps. So putting in place an inflationary hedge now potentially protects your portfolio against the reduction of your purchasing power on your returns in the future. An example included here, you might notice, is the new gold ETF. Remember, the exchange traded fund. Now, previously, if you wanted to add gold into your portfolio, you may well have had to go buy Kruger Rands, whereas the ETF is now a way for you to include gold into your asset class, but for a much lower outlay. You can buy shares of gold. The next evil, don't forget, we have to consider tax. Yes, any profits or losses that may result from your trading are subject to typically one of 2 types of taxes: income tax or capital gains tax. Now, how we distinguish which one will be affected on your profits and losses really determines on how you've been trading these shares. Have you been trading them for a short-term speculative nature, buying and selling, really within less than 3-year period? Well, this means those profits and losses will be subject to income tax. The longer-term buy and hold strategy, that rather sees capital gains tax. Now, dividends are also taxed within your portfolio, and they are typically subject to what is known as a withholding tax. So in fact, when you receive the payment of your dividend, the tax portion has already been paid on your behalf to SARS. The final and last of the evils to consider is trading costs. Yes, nothing in life is free, and neither is buying and selling shares. So please be aware and take into account the costs incurred from buying and selling these shares and the effect that they will have on your potential investment return. These costs and trading fees include VAT, for example, straight fees, which are the mandatory fees that take place on any buying and selling, and obviously also brokerage or stockbroking fees. All of these need to be considered, weighed up when measuring your portfolio's returns.